Emmy Award winner for Best Studio Host, who, upon winning that award, then called up Stuart Scott's daughters and handed the trophy to them. One of the most moving moments I've ever personally witnessed. He is Ernie Johnson of the NBA on TNT. How are you, Ernie?
Rich, if I were doing any better, I would be jealous of myself. How are you?
I am doing great. Before we turn to the topic of fatherhood, I'd love to hit you up on your thoughts of the NBA Finals and how you thought it all wrapped up. Ernie?
Hey, I'm very happy for Steve Kerr. Having known Steve for a long time, but going back to his playing days, and of course being a colleague at Turner, so thrilled for him. And it was, LeBron did all he could to try to get Cleveland there. But when you're missing, especially Kyrie Irving, I think that was a huge loss for them. He just had to do too much. LeBron did, and congrats to Golden State, because in the end they did what they did all year, and that's move the ball around, that's assist on a lot of field goals, that's hit three-point shots, and that's play great defense, and that's add them all up, and it wins the championship for you. So very happy to see that. I mean, it's been a long time, been an even longer time for Cleveland. Never done it, but LeBron had said, be patient. I'm not going to promise anything right away. It's not going to happen right away. And it didn't. So we'll see what direction Cleveland goes with from here on out.
Yeah, and where do you stand on the subject? If, this is always the big if, Irving and or, let's put them both even in there too, Kevin Love were healthy, how would have this finals been different, Ernie?
I don't know. It's one of those impossible to answer things. It would have been, certainly LeBron would have had more help offensively than having to try to score 40 a night, because he was just getting such inconsistent help. J.R. Smith would be great some nights, disappear others. Mozgov had one big game. Shumpert would help every now and then. They were just outmanned, and it's impossible. And I defy anybody to say, well, if Love and Irving were there, the series would have played out this way. You don't know. So the Warriors are the champs, and well-deserved. And you know what? I could go either Iguodala or Curry MVP. I know you guys were talking about that,
sure,
and whether LeBron from a losing team should be on it. But I didn't have a real problem with Andre winning it. I think he certainly was valuable. But it all goes back to the decision Steve Kerr made. That was the decision. That was the coaching decision of the series, to put Andre Iguodala in the starting lineup. If that doesn't happen, he's not going to be the MVP.
Yeah, and Kerr said that he thought it was fitting that Iguodala won the MVP of the finals because he sacrificed for the better part of the team by taking to the Pine at the beginning of this season, something he'd never done in his career. And now here he is,
sure,
inserted into the starter's role when it matters most, and comes up and shines big and gets to shake Bill Russell's hand, for crying out loud, to get this award last night.
That was a great moment, Rich, wasn't it? I mean, you could tell how cool that was for Andre too. It was just a great shot last night on ABC of the two of them, of Bill Russell standing there with the trophy and Iguodala putting his hand out and kind of saying, "Wow, this is really happening." It was a great moment.
And Ernie Johnson joining me here from Turner Sports. Let's turn to Father's Day, because I know this means so much to you, just like all the dads there out there who are listening or watching this program right now. What did you learn about fatherhood from your dad, Ernie Johnson Sr.? Ernie?
Oh man, how long do we have? What I found out from my dad, it was that you can learn a lot from him, even when he's not kind of sitting there preaching it to you. Just by watching, you can pick up a lot and see how he treats people, how he respects people. And how he goes about his job, how he goes about his family, business, being around for the kids when he can in the midst of a really busy schedule. And that was kind of, he just taught me a lot just from my being able to hang out with him and watch him. And I think that's probably the thing I always try to remember, is that my kids are watching me. How did Dad handle this situation when this happened? How did he handle it when this happened? So I just try to be consistent there, and I think try to pass on the lessons my dad taught me to my own kids.
Now, we just saw, for your benefit and also for everyone else who wasn't watching TV, a shot of you just grabbing on your dad's uniform pant leg back in the day. You posted that on your Instagram account at Ernie.Johnson. And just growing up around baseball, growing up around people like, say, Hank Aaron, right? Yeah. I mean, and then he switches to the broadcast booth, which in Turner Field is named after him. What are your recollections of that journey, just being at the side of your dad in that regard, Ernie?
Well, he would have been 91 yesterday. That's when I posted that picture. It's one of my favorites of all time, and yeah, I mean, it was a dream childhood, Rich. It's one of these. I mean, every one of my friends and anybody who hears about it would give their left arm, if they're a sports fan, to trade places with me, to be, tagging along with your dad to the ballpark and having Hank Aaron ask you how your Little League team is doing. To just, hanging out in the clubhouse before games, hanging out in the press box 3 hours before the first pitch, getting to meet all those greats who would come in to call games against the Braves as I sat in the back and watched my dad work. It was a dream. And the greatest thing about that, and one of the lessons I learned from that, is my dad said, look, just because I do this doesn't make me special. This doesn't, I just happen to be able to do this. I've had the opportunity that the Braves have hired me to do this. And so always consider yourself fortunate. Don't all of a sudden become, and we've all seen them, Rich, because you have this TV job or this high-profile job, that you think the world owes you something. And my dad never had that feeling. He just had this attitude of gratitude every day he went into work that he got to do this. And that's what I've tried to carry through, 35 years on TV and, 26 years at Turner.
Now, when you see Hank Aaron break Babe Ruth's record, Ernie, in the old Fulton County Stadium, and he's coming around to touch home plate, one of the members of the media that I always love seeing there, because you know where I'm going with this.
Yes, I do.
It's Craig Sager standing there with his plaid jacket, right? And
it was a bad, like, off-white trench coat kind of a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
So have you known Craig your whole life, essentially, Ernie?
No, I did not know Craig back then. Mm-hmm. And back then I was, we're talking 1972, correct? Mm-hmm. When Henry hit that?
74, April 8th, 74. Yeah.
So I'm 17, 18 years old at the time. Mm-hmm. I didn't know Segs. He's a little older than I am. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until after I got to know him that he brought that up, and we looked at the video. I said, "Yeah, there it is. There's the haircut. There's the trench coat. There's the little microphone, that you used back there." And it was it's amazing. But that speaks volumes to the kind of work ethic that Segs has. He always wanted to be right in the middle of everything.
How's he doing right now, Ernie?
Excuse me?
How's he doing right now?
He's continuing. The last time I talked, he was continuing with the treatments. They were doing another work with the bone marrow, and he was in Houston at MD Anderson and was going to be spending the summer there, just fighting, just fighting, and it's been surreal to watch over the last year and a half or so, or I guess not even that long, dating back to April of 2014. But I kind of keep up every now and then with his son Craig Jr., who's been there every step of the way too, and helping any way he can, helping his dad. So
many different Father's Day stories to think about coming up this weekend. I'm on the phone with Ernie Johnson of Turner Sports, and Ernie, the E60 piece that ESPN did on you and your life and your fatherhood on display was moving, to say the least, Ernie. I mean, I don't know how you do it. Especially you've got a son, Michael, at home that needs care at home all the time. Duchenne muscular dystrophy is a form of muscular dystrophy that many people just don't know about because there is no known cure right now, Ernie. What do you go through every day mentally as you and your wife deal with this?
Here's the thing. How we do it is my wife Cheryl of 32 years. We got a great team, and we have We have help from the other kids. We have help we have an overnight nurse from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m. for Michael because, he's got Duchenne and he's on a ventilator because he had a bad episode with pneumonia a little over 3 years ago, and we almost lost him, and they had to put him on a trach, and so he's got a ventilator that does the work of his lungs. So he's on that 24 hours a day, and we can put it on the back of his wheelchair, and we can take him around. We keep him as active as we can. He just can't do anything on his own, and that's the thing about muscular dystrophy. It doesn't get better; it just gets worse. And so you go from being able to walk to needing leg braces to going into a wheelchair to he can't even drive his chair anymore because he doesn't have the strength. So, but you know what? It's just that it's what we do, Rich. You get up in the morning and you're in a way it puts you in a servant role, and that's good for you. That you're going to wake up and whether it's me when I'm in town or whether it's Cheryl if I'm out of town, depending on our schedules, or whether it's Eric or Maggie or Carmen, our other three of our other kids who help us with Michael. It's not about you. It's about what you do for somebody else, and and that's what we do. We try to make each day special for Michael, and that's how you get through it.
Last question for you. Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
No, sorry, Ernie. I just want my last question for you. Quite simply, what does fatherhood mean to you? What do you think being a dad means, Ernie?
You know what I love about it is the challenge. And any dads out there know what I'm talking about. That it's not easy, and there are going to be times where there are days where you think, I'm doing okay. And then the next day you said, man, I must be the worst parent of all time. But then you see something and you get a God wink every now and then that says, you know what, you did okay on that one, now keep going. And so that's what we do. We've got these 6 kids. We adopted Ashley and Allison about 4 years ago out of foster care in Cleveland. They're the newest members of the family, and we just adore them. And we're just trying to give them an opportunity in a permanent home, to say this is your forever home. You don't have to bounce around to houses anymore. And I think the great thing about fatherhood and the great thing about parenthood is just watching them grow, watching them make mistakes, watching them succeed, watching them add value to whatever they do. So I love that Sunday. I love that Father's Day. I love that 24 hours where you can just kind of sit back and reflect and say, it's a pretty cool thing to be doing.
Well, happy Father's Day to you, Ernie.
Hey, right back at you, man. It's all about us that day. Remember that.
For about 2 seconds,
True.
Ernie, you are truly a prince, and congrats on the Emmy Award, and what you did to give it to Stewart's daughters is above and beyond. There's no other words for it, Ernie.
No, and my heart goes out to them on this Father's Day, because that's going to be, that's hard. That's hard if you've lost a parent, and for them to lose Stewart at that stage when they're teenagers. Prayers going up for those girls, Taylor and Sydney. They're the best.
That's what he would say. Yeah, when you hit your knees, send up a prayer to the big man. That's what Stewart would always say. Ernie, thanks again for joining. I look forward to the next time already. Rich, my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me on. You bet. Have a great one. Same to you. That's Ernie Johnson of Turner Sports, at Turner Sports. EJ, also on Instagram, at Ernie.Johnson. And everyone should take some time and go to the website, mda.org, and learn more about Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And if you care to lend a hand or lend any money, it is a disease that needs that help.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.